All right, welcome into the show. Creative Crypto here. When will the crypto market recover? That's what I'm going to cover in this video. I'm also going to do this free 100 USDC giveaway that I promised last video when I went over the Apex Liquid bot, which is a Telegram bot that you can use to trade on Hyperliquid. You can trade perpetuals with leverage, and you're able to do that just on Telegram. So it's a nice, cool little bot. You can also copy trade with it as well. I will do a random wheel draw at the end of the video for this giveaway, so stay tuned for that. But real quick, I just want to go over the crypto market. When is it going to recover? When can we start putting in some nice long trades to capitalize on the next recovery? So that's what I want to dive into the charts. And first we need to look at Bitcoin, because Bitcoin controls all of crypto basically, because it's the highest market cap coin and it has the most liquidity in the coin. So a lot of the altcoins do follow Bitcoin. Sometimes you do see where altcoins will pump and Bitcoin will dump. That does happen on rare occasions, but most times when Bitcoin is either pumping, the altcoins are pumping as well, like Solana and some others. And when Bitcoin is dumping, you will see the altcoins follow. So we're looking at the weekly chart here for Bitcoin, and you will notice that we are getting in some oversold territory. And it's getting close to getting a bounce, but I don't think it's going to happen yet. I'm going to show you what I'm looking here on the charts. Mainly, you can see the RSI down here, and this is very similar to the RSI, just in a different format. And we're getting pretty oversold here, as you can see right here based on this line, and right here how we're starting to draw down here. Now, what I'm looking for is a similar bounce like we got back on these two occasions. You notice back here, Bitcoin hit back here. This is in March 2024. Bitcoin hit, I believe that was maybe the all-time high at the time, around 70,000. And then it crashed down to around 56,000. So that was about, about a 20% dip. So just a little dip there. But notice it found support on this green line here. And right now we have broken under that green line. So when is the last time we broke under that green line? We go back over here. It's the same green line. Notice it found support there. Broke a little wick under there. Keep in mind, this is the weekly candles. Each one of these candles represents 1 week of price action. So we come back over here. So the last time we really broke under this line is way back over here. Okay, and this was August 2022. Okay, when we're going through all that. And times, of course, were different back then with the economy and stuff. And we did break down from that line, and we broke down again on another line, and we found support on this blue line. Okay, so if Bitcoin follows that same trend, hopefully it doesn't, but if it does, we could be seeing some interesting price action. Okay, now if it did hit this blue line, which would be right now around 70,000, if it hit that, that would be all systems go, because when it got close to this line over here, you notice that we pretty much got an instant recovery. Okay, here broke on the blue line, it wavered for a little bit, and then instant recovery. So if it did get to those levels, that's going to be a pretty good sign to long. Now, I would wait, of course, till we get a confirmation of the green candle. Even if you had longed this green candle right here, depending where you got in, let's say you just bought the top of this green candle and you longed it, you would be pretty safe. Your drawdown would be this right here. Okay, but you could have just held, to this one. This is a 12% gain on a 10x leverage. That's 120% return, and that's in about 3 weeks. So even if you had longed the top of that candle, you still could have made another 12%. Now, you did have to keep in mind that the drawdown here. Now, of course, if you long this exact top right here, let me actually zoom in on this. So if you had longed this top, and this is a, drastic example, your drawdown is pretty steep. Okay, we're looking at, 15%. But what you could do is you could have put another basically long right here if it did dip. All right, and you'd have to play around with your leverage, because a 15% dip would wipe out, a 10x leverage. A 5x leverage would be about 75% down, and that's when you would put in your another buy right here, okay? But the good thing is it did bounce. Now, I'd have to go back in the lower time frames to see if it pumped first and then dumped, okay, because this candle is on a weekly. But you can see we did hit, 10%, and then the next candle went up, 12%. So basically, and another one went up another. So you're looking at 15% in 3 weeks. So that's a quick little swing trade there. So if Bitcoin does bounce off this blue line, then we're looking pretty good. Now, I hope we don't get down to that blue line because that's going to be some pretty crazy price action. It does look like we are slowly getting the reversal. Notice here, okay? Once this green starts to appear and starts curving and we get some, bounce on the RSI here, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a similar thing back here. Notice we have another one back here, okay? We've seen this instance a few times. Now this was another one here. This actually broke under that green, the second green, and almost hit the blue. But this would have been a perfect entry to long. I mean, look at this. You could have done really high leverage right here. If you longed off this first green candle, now even if you hit the top again, you're looking at 5% drawdown, so 10x would be safe. But still, you got to be careful. So with leverage, guys, you definitely have to keep that in mind. Have other, orders ready to go to save your liquidation price if needed. But based on the history of this price action, it's looking like, it's going to be settling pretty soon. This is it's still going down. So again, we might get to this green line at 83,000 and then 70,000 is in play. Unfortunately, that's just kind of the way it is right now in the market. But as soon as we get that, that's what I'm looking for to potentially long. Now, that's for the long-term approach. That's for the macro trends for the crypto market. I do like to put in macro trades, long-term trades that I try to get in at the bottoms and long those trades because, some of them you can make some crazy returns. I mean, right here, a 90-day run of 75%. That's looking pretty sweet. This one over here, if you hit this one, that's looking about 120 days, 46%. So again, as Bitcoin goes up, the pumps don't get as much, but I do think pretty soon we're going to see, the recovery here. And it's basically on the weekly chart is what you want to keep in mind, okay, for when you want to potentially go long. Now, of course, you can do short-term scalp trading. That's something I want to talk about in my next video is a short-term scalp trading strategy. Because even though, the trajectory is looking down at the moment and you don't want to put any, long-term longs in right now until you see the recovery, you can still make good money scalp trading and just doing the short-term time frames like I talked about last video, okay? Especially on Solana, that is pretty good to see. Okay, we're looking at Solana again on the weekly, same kind of thing. All right, we might settle out, back down around here. It's starting to somewhat get close, but again, we might need to see even more of a sell-off because if we look at this level right here on this indicator, notice that, we're looking at about right here. So we may be in for another, let's see, another 20% dip throughout the next month. Okay, it's looking like another 4 weeks until we get this nice green candle right here. And then we see, the RSI starting to bounce. Everything's looking good. Then we can catch this long right here. Even if we caught this candle, that's 20% right there. So that's what I'm going to be looking at for these long-term trades is to see when we get this bounce on the weekly. Once we do, it's looking pretty good because most times we don't have a fake out when we get a green candle on the weekly, especially if we're underneath, previous price action here on this chart. Okay, notice that, right here was kind of a fake out. Yes, right here was kind of a fake out, but notice the RSI, it's not down here. When the RSI is down here at these levels, that's when, the longs can come into play. Okay, like right here, okay, that came through. This one came through here. Even this one, you can even draw this. You'll see this as well. Okay, when you see this type of continuation, just the momentum moving upwards, bam, this was a perfect long right here. Okay, just look at that. You could have rode that all the way up to this red up here, and that's 400%. Crazy stuff. This was back in 2023. Okay, Solana was, 20 bucks at the time. That was before Pump Fun and everything with that. But if you just watch the charts, you can find this stuff definitely on the long-term scale. So that's the long-term outlook for crypto in general. All right, and like I said, next video, I want to go into scalp trading, where we can try to scalp trade these short time frames, okay, and make some quick bucks, because it is possible to hit some scalp trades, and you can make some pretty insane profits, even with low percentage returns. I showed you guys this compounding calculator last video. I kind of made some improvements here. I noticed that it was kind of hard to look at on the video. Hopefully this is better on the eyes here. So basically, if you started with 100 bucks, and this could be per day, this could be per trade, okay? How many trades you need to win in a row. So for this example, I'm looking at making a 25% profit per trade, okay? And then reinvesting, I'm kind of messing around with it, 25%, 50%. I showed you last video 90%, but for this example, if each trade we made 25% profit and we reinvested 50%, even with fees and everything, after, let's see, it would take us 20 trades, okay, 20 trades. We would grow our balance to around 900 bucks, and we would have made $100 profit. So basically, after 20 trades, if we can hit 20 in a row, which, you can if you have the right strategy, and 25% profit on leverage isn't that crazy to hit, okay? But of course, you're going to probably have some losses along the way. And what you can do also, when you double your money here, you could just take out this 100 and then start over. And so now it's, you can reinvest more risky if you would like. I mean, imagine if you took this to 100%. I mean, look at this. If you just did 100% reinvest, you didn't take any profits. Look at this. You grow this to 5K, and then after 20 trades, you decide to take profit on the next trade. Now you took 50% profit. You took $700. Okay. You grew your account balance to $5,000. But of course, this is winning every trade. But let's just say you did 5 in a row. Okay. 5 in a row. And then you did 50% reinvesting. Okay. How much could you potentially make? Let's go back here. Okay. So you grew your account to $275, and then you start taking profit. So it only take you, not too long. Basically down here, you'd recoup your 100 bucks, and you still have 800 in there. So there's ways you can play around with these numbers and see. And of course, if you made more than 25%, let's say we made 50% profit, how much would that get? Now it only takes us, 5 trades, and we grew our account to $600, and we've made 100 bucks. So these are things you can do, okay? This isn't outside the realm of possibility where you can make this leverage trading. Of course, the more profit you make, the faster your account can grow, okay? But this is just the possibilities of this. And I'm going to be giving away 100 bucks to somebody that could potentially use this strategy and grow your account. So this is what I would do. Of course, if you got the 100 bucks, you can try it out and see if you can make some profit trading. And I'm going to be doing that scalp trading video next time, and we'll see if I can do some scalp trades on the video, show you what I look for on the charts when I want to scalp trade, because scalp trading can be very profitable, and it can also lose you a lot of money. So you have to be very careful the way you approach it, and you have to have a good risk management going into the trades. All right, guys, so let's not waste any more time. Let's select the giveaway. We had 20 responses here, so thank you to everybody that entered the free 100 USDC giveaway provided by Apex Liquid Bot. Thanks again to the Apex Liquid Bot team for providing those giveaway funds for this. Really appreciate them for that. And I wish I could give away 100 bucks to everybody that entered. Unfortunately, just don't have the budget for that right now. So it's going to be one winner. Here's the spreadsheet. Okay, I kind of took off some of the names here, but you can see where your name is here. So there's 20 entries in here, okay? And of course, the stipulation is you have to sign up with my link, subscribe and thumbs up on the video, and then fill out the form below with your wallet address and your Telegram handle. Because that's how I'm going to verify if you use my link for the giveaway. Okay, so we have 20 entries in here. So let me bring up the wheel, the random wheel picker right here. We have number 2 to 21, because on the spreadsheet, Number 1 is the column, so it's number 2 to 21. We're going to shuffle these, so it doesn't matter when you entered the giveaway. Okay, it's a fair shuffle. All the numbers are shuffled around. Okay, and then we're going to spin this, and we're going to pick one winner, and then I'm going to verify to make sure they signed up with my link and they followed the rules. Okay, so good luck to everybody. Thank you once again for entering this giveaway. I hope to do more of these along for the ride here on this channel, so make sure you subscribe, stay tuned so you don't miss the next giveaway. So let's spin the wheel. Let's see who the winner is doing this on the video. Just going to do this one time and make sure that, you know, the winner follows the rules and everything. So it looks like number 6. All right, barely beat out number 11 there. Congrats, number 6. Let's go to the spreadsheet and see who that was. Okay, number 6 right here. Let's highlight this. This is our winner. And let me make sure that they signed up with my referral link for the bot. Okay, so this is their Telegram handle right here. And again, guys, I will never direct message you on Telegram because there are scammers that pose as me direct messaging you. I'll never direct message you. Okay, verify that through my Telegram and click on my name. So if you ever get a direct message from an account looking like mine, it's not me. I do not direct message you unless you message me first. Then I will message you. Okay, so let's see if this person signed up with my link. The cool thing about Apex Liquid Bot, it shows you who signs up. So let's see if I search here. And yes, there they are. Hello 1076. So there you are. Thank you so much for signing up with my link and following the rules for the giveaway. And you have won yourself $100. So congratulations there to the winner. I have your wallet address. I will send you those funds as soon as this video goes live. You will see that in your wallet. I hope you can grow that $100 into much more trading. And this is just the start of your trading journey. So thanks again to everybody that joined the giveaway. I hope to do this much more in the future as we move along with the Apex Liquid Bot and this market. So thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate everybody that entered. Like I said, I wish I could give away $100 to everybody, but hopefully next time you can be the winner. So guys, real quick before I end the video, I want to talk about these settings here. One thing I forgot to mention last video is when you're doing this minimum trade size and maximum trade size, keep in mind that that can be with leverage. So let's say the trader that you're copying put in a 10x leverage with $100 capital. Okay, that's really a $1,000 position. Okay, so this right here is going off of the leveraged position size. Okay, now you can also do max margin here. Okay, so if you want to not go over a certain margin per trade, you can limit that here with the max total margin, max token margin. That's per token. Okay, so you can limit that with here, but keep in mind this is on leverage. So this right here, if someone opened up a $10 position with 2x leverage, yes, that's a $20 position. So that will work for this. But if you put your max trade size, small, and someone opens up a leverage position, it's just going to copy with very small amount. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's based off of leverage, and you don't know, what the trader is going to use for leverage. You can look at their past history and see what they like to use, but you can also utilize this max total margin section down here. That's how you can limit to make sure you're not going too much. If you want to limit going too little, you can do that with the minimum trade size here. Okay, so just wanted to give you guys clarification on that because I am still testing out the copy trading myself and trying to find the sweet spot for the settings and everything. So as we go along, I will share with you guys the best settings and stuff that I find with the bot as I do more testing with copy trading. And the cool thing is, if you want to copy the traders, you can come over here, find traders going short, in the market, find the best traders going short if you want to copy traders that are going short because you think the market is going to go down. You can find the best traders that historically have been going short and making great profits here. As we see this trader, they made 68% in a day, 165% in 7 days, 300% for the month. Okay, so cool little chart there. That would be one that I would definitely potentially look at to copy trade because they're basically just shorting the market right now. If the market keeps going down, you can take advantage of it by copying these traders that are going short in the market. Okay, so this is just something you can do, something that I'm experimenting with different traders and stuff like that. So that really does it, guys, for this video. We'll dive much more into that in future videos. There's so much to cover with this bot, and as far as leverage trading goes, there's a lot we can talk about and different strategies we can implement to make some profits here trading. So once again, thank you to everybody that watched the last video. Congrats to the giveaway winner, and I hope to do more of those in the future. So make sure you subscribe. If you like this video, hit a thumbs up, and I'll have much more content for you guys in the future with trading. And we'll get back into the meme coins as well and see if we can still hit some trades with some meme coins. I do still do meme coin trading, just not as much these days, but definitely I want to have both areas of trading that I can do with leverage trading and meme coin trading. So I want to see how I can make profits on both of them. And when one's not working, I try to go to the other one. And just overall, the goal is to make profit. That is the goal of this channel. That is the goal of When You Trade. So hopefully we can do that moving forward. So thanks again, everybody. Really appreciate the support. I hope you guys are having a great day wherever you guys are. Until the next time we will talk again, take care and take charge. Creative Crypto out.